Hello everybody! Welcome back to some more modded Minecraft. My name is DanielAKA. So today we're going to go ahead and dive into playing around with Psy. Now, just to give you a heads up here, I've played around with it a little bit, and this is probably going to take at least a couple episodes. And I'm going to go through the tutorial of Psy. Alright, that was really weird sound. Really weird sounding. So, what I'm not going to be doing with Psy in these videos is do a tutorial. I'm going to follow the Psy tutorials, and I'll guide you through my thought process as we do so. You know, I need some... Oh, there's horses outside. I need some food real quick. But, in actuality, I'm not going to go through... Eat? That's good. I'm not going to go through and do a tutorial video. I very well may do that in the future if I can get Psy down well enough. So, I had a few issues with it, so I've went through and gotten a lot more iron because you need a fair bit of iron to use Psy. When I say fair bit, I mean a gigundo amount of iron. So pretty much between iron, gold, and redstone, you should be set for the most part. So this should get us, for the most part, what we need. And I am just hopeful that we don't run into a problem. I was having an issue where, for whatever reason, Psy was deleting my components. I don't know, it's some kind of glitch of some sort. So, first off, when using Psy, you have to make sure you have an appropriate button assigned to Psy. I've changed mine to P for Psy. Then you have to make a CAD assembler. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Nope, I didn't do it correctly. Off. Done. Wait. Lag. There. Now, so a piston and 5 iron, so cobblestone, wood, redstone, real simple stuff. That gets you a CAD assembler. Now, the CAD assembler is what you use to make your CAD devices. Now, we need an assembly, so it's going to be just like this with iron. Really simple. We're going to do a basic CAD assembly. Ding! And we are going to put that in the assembler, and it's going to make us a casting assistant device. Note these stats: assembly, core, socket, battery, colorizer. We'll need some components later. We'll just pull that out there like that. Now, so this is based off of the anime Mahoka, and it's basically a technology magic type of thing. Let's just do that. That's good. So let's go ahead and do this. So you can't use this ability while you have that in your hand. So I'm gonna hit P there. So in order to get your first level in this, you have to... Whoa, I have no idea what that is. That's apparently hitting I. That's very odd, very strange. Alright. Chuck that on the ground. Shoot the redstone with this by right-clicking. There we go. And this turns redstone into Psydust. That gives you your first level. Now, with Psydust, you can make a spell programmer with iron and Psydust, like so. And then we are able to go through and do the first one. Now, the first tutorial is real simple. Tells us about different things. So we have tricks, which are actions in the world, and we have selectors. In this case, this is a parameter. So this wants to enter in a parameter. All right, and let's make a spell programmer real quick. Ding, dong, poof, like so. So if we were to make a spell called debug, actually we need... okay. I don't know what I just did. Okay. So we need a few things here. I want a spell bullet is pretty much all I care about right now. Alright. So that's the CAD that I've got currently. Alright, we're going to hope and pray that this doesn't mess up. So, if we want to do the trick debug, this tells us on the left that we have a required parameter and a target, an optional parameter and the number. So the level 1 is tell this spell named debug that it is going to use the parameter on the left, which is target, which is going to be the caster. So we go over here, do that. Wait a second. Oh, we gotta do something else. Alright, so we need... What do we need? A CAD core basic one. We need a CAD socket, like that. CAD battery, might as well. Spell bullets. Spell drives. Exosuit stuff, we'll get into that later, because that looks pretty interesting. So, I guess you can't disassemble that? And it'll pull another one. He's out. Very strange. Apparently you have to build them all from scratch, so you can't... This one is going to go in the garbage. Donk. So this is the one that has the different stuff associated with it. Alright. So now, we go over here, throw that in there. Okay. Now, if we use the spell, how do we select the... Ah, we hit the button. That makes sense. Debug. This says, okay, so this is the level one thing. This would tell me my location. Okay. Okay, so I can actually do that also. So now for level 2, I need to use the number constant. So this gives us the number parameter and the ability to connect through stuff. All right. So we are going to do this and give us a number. We're going to put 1 in there, and this is going to say down. Alright, compilation successful. I'm level 3. Alright, I got a little CAD point. So, we're going to learn level 3. Okay, so I know what you're doing. This is boring when we start doing cool stuff now. So we're going to do the trick add motion, which is going to push, add motion to it in a certain direction. Alright, it adds it to... Takes an entity, a vector, and a number constant. And as you already figured out, selector cast returns an entity player. Alright, which if you use the trick add motion, you can do it to add movement to yourself. The vector is the direction. Okay. So, let's shift that. Okay. So we are going to do a add motion. No, it wants a target parameter, a direction, and a speed. So the target is going to be me. The direction is going to be so an entity, look, this is going to be a direction, and I'm going to say use the direction that, let's see, is that right? Is that how that works? Let me see here. So what does this need? This needs a target. And that's a target. How do I get that there? I see. Alright, so this says, give me the direction, the vector, give me the direction that a target, in this case me, am looking. And this is going to be, that's going to be the direction, and the speed is going to be a number, and we're going to say blarg. Okay. Perfect. So the way this reads is, we're gonna add some additional motion to me in the direction that somebody, me, am looking, and that is going to be 1 unit of movement. So in this case, over here is the complexities, the number of actions, the number of tricks, I believe, that we can use. I think the potency is how strong the spell is. This is the cost, the psi cost. The 142 is because I've got a really bad efficiency over here, 70% efficiency. I've got, oh, that's the number of tricks. That's the total number of actions, the different things that I can put in here. And this is the bandwidth. So this is 3 high, so I can do a maximum of 5 high or 5 wide, no more than that. Okay, I'm getting that. I'm getting it. And you can import and export from clipboards. Okay, and then Control-Shift-Delete. Oh, here, perfect. Some keybinds. I'm understanding now. I think I had a problem when I bound delete to be my psi key, so that caused a problem. All right, so we're gonna call this move it. You got to move it, move it. You want to move it. Hey, I leveled up. Actually, if we were to increase that number to 2, oh, so that's 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Whoa! Okay, so you draw too much on psi energy, you die. Holy moly, that was pretty bad. Death point. All right, that's better. All right, I kept my CAD. That's good. Yeesh. All right, let's put this back. 1. Pickenstein's 2. Molly Hatchet's 3. Chevelator's 4. Iron Lumber Axe is 5. Hammer Time is 6. 7 and end. All right. So, tutorial level 4. Do you like explosions? Of course you do. Let's make a spell that explodes the block the player's looking at. For this, we're going to need the trick explode. And this takes a vector and a number similar to a trick add motion. This constant is the power of the trick. The vector is where you want the explosion to happen. We've already used operator any look, but that gives us a vector that's very short. If we use that, the explosion would happen in our face. Instead, we want to use the operator vector ray trace. Okay, so entity look is the immediate direction where I'm looking. Ray trace is as far out as an entity is looking. So operator takes position and array both from vectors, from the position in which the player's position acquirable through operator entity position. The operator extends the ray parameter until it collides with a block in this world. Therefore, if you use it alongside operator entity look, we can find out where the player is looking and create our explosion there. One thing we have to keep in mind is the fact that spells have a range of 32 blocks from our... Okay, 32 blocks maximum. Check. Lastly, the error suppressor piece does exactly as it describes. If something goes wrong while casting your spell, you'll get an error. Okay, so we have to use the explode trick. So we can also get the parameter, the position of an entity, and then we can get the raycast, which is a ray, a beam pointing away from the position of an entity in the direction that entity is facing. Okay, I think we can do that. So let's see here. So Control-Shift-Delete. All right. So we want to blow something up. That needs a position and a power. The power will be a number 1. Check. Done. The position is going to be a beam that goes in the direction that I am pointing. That way. Starting at the position of an entity, and both the entity that's going to be pointing and the entity that... Alright, so that'll be... there. And... Alright. So, the way we read this is we're going to do a power 1 explosion at a block whose beam starts at the position of me and goes out in the direction that an entity, me, is looking. Okay. I think we can maybe do that. Okay, that was odd. There we go, that's better. Okay. So maximum psi of 210. Power 12 is too much. Alright, so we're gonna stick with power 1. Explode! Alright, let's blow something up. Just to make sure. Blank. Blank. And... Hey, I blew it up! Sweet! Okay, can't blow that up. And so on the left, I see my psi power. Alright. Cool! I'm getting the hang of this already. This is actually not too bad. It's not like programming, it's more like English. Oh, cool. I like how it sticks the little spell up the top there. I may have to actually make a room for this specifically. Okay, hitting P. We have 3 things to choose from. Entities, numbers, and vectors. So, things, numbers, and directions. Let's do entities. Entities are an essential component to spell programming. While using components like a selector caster, it's possible to get the person casting in the spell. The piece included here allows for the targeting other entities in the world. You can make use of the pieces here to create spells that affect other entities. Try using it with the trick add motion on them instead of yourself. Okay, so we're going to do closest to point. Entity, which is something in the world. So we can also do... we could say nearby items, nearby living, nearby enemies, nearby animals, nearby projectiles, closest to point, items, living, entity motion. We can give an entity a motion. Gets an entity motion vector like if we're going forward. All right. And then gets a random entity from a list of stuff. Gets the entity the target is looking at. We can add the entity to a list, and we can remove an entity to a list. So we can do some interesting stuff with that. Okay. So, we want, actually, closest to point operator. So we're going to do an add motion trick, and it needs a target, which is going to be a, let's see here, an operator, a selector, let's see here, okay, I gotta think about this for a second. So we're gonna add motion, And we need the speed. You know, we'll just do this again. Where is the number? 1. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a second here. That's not what I wanted to do. That's kind of what I wanted to do. That's tempting on playing around with. Alright. So, speed's that way. Wonder why it's not showing on the side here. Oh, I wonder why that went down there. That's just weird. Alright, so let's try that again. Add motion. The direction. Let's see here. We'll do that in a second. I wonder why. That's actually a cool model. Alright, tell you what, let's do this. Take that out. Eh. Well, we'll deal with that in a second here. Alright, we're going to finish this one here, and then we'll call the episode. So, target. Let's see here. Guess the will be an entity that's closest to the point. And I need a position. Which is going to be, I'm going to do a raycast. Alright. And let's do that. That. Let's see if I can, if I'm doing this correctly here. Target needs a position, that. And a target. There's going to be an entity list. Let's see here. Alright, I'm going to figure this out. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so let me go and explain to you what I've done here. So, what we're doing is we're going to say, we're going to add motion. And this needs 3 things. It needs something to add the motion to, the entity, the direction it's going, and the speed. So speed's going to be 5. We're going to add motion to an item that is closest to the point, which ends at the beam that I am looking at, starting at my position, and it is going to be the nearest item at that location in a radius of 1. Takes a little bit to get your mind wrapped around, but that's should work. So, we are going to go over here. And ouch. All right, let's tell you what. Let's go back here and change that to 1. Ugh. All right, let's try that again. Point is non-existent. Me is confused. Spell entity target is non-existent. Let's figure this out real quick, and then we'll call it an episode. See here. Item. Now, tell you what. Let's do... let's see here. Selector. Nearest items that are near the position. Nearest enemies. Random entity. Nearest items. Change the radius to 2. Oh! There we go. It's working now. But... if we just throw that in there... suppresses errors thrown by the spell. Why is it not... I don't know why that's doing that. I am all confused at that point. Well, you know, the important thing is that it is working. Sweet. My logic was sound, even if I almost got myself killed in the process. Well, that's pretty much all the time I've got for this episode here. So when we go to the next episode, get some food, Daniel. We are going to continue where we left off. We're going to play around with Sai some more. We're going to do some more spells, learn some more stuff, and see how we get along. I hope you all have enjoyed this. If you have, please feel free to come on back. You know, leave some comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. As always, my name is Daniel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.